What's good, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Smoking and Grilling with me, AB. You guys saw the thumbnail. This one's a little different, huh? Hey, today we're getting ready to make a pasta sauce. Hey, listen, I'm gonna put the name up there so you guys can like beat the name up. You guys know the name. You can tell me how to pronounce it down at the bottom. You know what I mean? Hey, but for me, I just left it alone. But that's what we making, right? Super easy. Listen, we're gonna jar it. It stores very, very well. You put it in a mason jar. You can put it in your cover, and it's gonna last you for a minute. Nothing like getting your own pasta sauce. You know, when you reach into the cabinet, you're grabbing your own. You know what's in it. It's got low sodium. It's very, very good. And I promise you, hey, it's going to excite everybody. With that being said, we're not going to over talk it, and we're finna get right into this video. All right, look, let's go over these ingredients. I'm going to start by showing you this right here. This is dried basil, right? If you want to use dried basil, you want to put in, 2 teaspoons. This is dried. But if you want to use fresh, you want to go with 2 tablespoons. I'm going to go with 2 tablespoons of this fresh, basil, and then I'm going to use a couple of pinches of this dry just to like kick up the flavor even more. Here, we got oregano, right? Crushed red peppers. And then right here, we got salt and pepper. I put both of these in here because these are equal parts, a half a teaspoon each. Again, that's kosher salt and black pepper. Then we're going to use a couple of tablespoons of this Hunt's tomato paste. Now, this right here is minced garlic. This is 5 teaspoons of minced garlic. If you want to, you can go ahead and use, 5 fresh garlic cloves, and mince those. But since I had some minced already done, we're going to go ahead and go with this. Then we got extra virgin olive oil. This right here, we're going to use a couple of tablespoons of this inside of that pot right there, and that's what we're going to cook it in. Now, let's address these. These are San Marzano, style garlic, olive oil, and basil whole peel tomatoes, right? Listen, these are, look, it says San Marzano style. If you want the authentic, the ones that come from Italy, you know what? If you're making an authentic, and then look down here at the bottom, you'll see where I got, or let me do it this way. You'll see that I got the name of the exact Italian sauce this is. But this is the pasta sauce that I use. Usually this is the base. I have this one and another one that I try to mix up, like when I'm making spaghetti and things like that. Now, let me say this. This right here, when you talk about budget friendly, these are probably things that you have, minus this living, basil right here, right? This fresh basil. This is probably what you have already in your pantry, cupboard, or whatever. Now, these right here, you buy this San Marzano style, these are around $2.50 a can, you know what I mean? So if you want the authentic, you're gonna pay about close to $5 a can. Either or, this gets you, very, very close, but these aren't from Italy. Outside of that, it's super easy. And you want to get yourself some mason jars, which I have right here, because listen, I'm gonna make it, and I have a few pasta dishes that I'm gonna be making, and this right here is the base. That's why I'm doing this first. This is not an expensive dish. It's just gonna take a little time because we're gonna cook it, bring out the flavors, and then we're gonna add this fresh basil to it, and then we're gonna go from there. Now, let me go ahead and get these open, and let's go ahead and get it ready to simmer. Okay, there's been a change. Listen, I decided to use my Dutch oven. I'm gonna use that because I just want to cook on, since I'm already set up right here, instead of going to the stove, I'm gonna go ahead and just cook right here on my counter. And also I want to say, everything that I use will be down in the, listen, I pin it in my #1 comment, you guys. Look, like some of the key things that I use, I put those links in there, and also I'm gonna put a link to my Amazon store. Not saying you gotta get it, but at least you can look at it, click on it, and get the description, and you can decide whether you wanna buy from Amazon or buy wherever, wherever it's convenient for you. So, now, let me just go ahead, let's take this top off, and let's start putting these ingredients in the inside. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is, we're gonna add, here we go, this the olive oil. I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple of tablespoons. Right? Then listen, we wanna start off on low heat. I'm gonna go with a medium low. That's about 175 degrees. We just wanna get this going, and then what we want to do is, once it comes up to temp, I'm gonna go ahead and add my minced garlic. Now, once it comes up to temp, you want to go ahead and put your minced garlic inside. And here's the thing. Here we don't want to burn it, right? So we're just gonna move this around. We only gonna, get this going for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. It really depends on your heat. I know I can tell you guys what I think medium low is and low is. It might be different from you guys, but you just want to make sure that you don't, you don't burn it. So we'll just keep moving this around like this. We'll let it release the flavors into this olive oil. Now this is turning golden brown, just the way I like it, right? Now we're getting ready to start adding our San Marzano, style tomatoes. Now we're getting ready to put a couple of tablespoons of our tomato paste inside. It's okay if it's a little bit on the heap inside. It's no worries. Listen, it's gonna be good no matter what. Now we're getting ready to add, our dry ingredients. So listen, this right here is your red pepper flakes. We'll just add that. And our salt and pepper. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna give it a stir. Now you guys will notice that I didn't put the basil in. You don't want to put that in until the end. You just want it to release its flavor and not be overcooked so you don't get that bitter taste. So right now I'm just stirring it up. Yeah, this right here is gonna be fire, you guys. Hey, I hope you guys can see that. Now this is something that I do. What I do is I give you guys the base, right? I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle just a little bit more, black pepper, even though I gave you guys those ingredients, but we're just gonna put a little bit more in here. I know I haven't tasted it, but I can look at it and just tell you, I like to just see it just a little bit more and it can't hurt. Now, you just wanna give it a stir. And what we wanna do is we're gonna cook this, right? We're gonna cook it for about 3 to 4 hours. I'm gonna say more so like, let's start it. We'll look at it after 3 hours, right? And then we're gonna stir it occasionally. But right now, I'm just like mixing it up. I'm gonna put the lid on. I'm gonna set a timer for 3 hours. Then we're gonna come back, take a look at it, and then we're gonna go from there. Now we're getting ready to just take a look at it after an hour. You can see it's simmering. We got it on low. Oh, it's starting to break down the tomatoes very, very good. So what you want to do is just give it a stir. Make sure nothing is sticking down on the bottom. Now again, I'm using an induction top, so the heating element is right here in the center. So I just want to give it a stir. It smells incredible, but just wait until we put those basils in there. So right now we just give it a stir again. And we're gonna put the top back on. Then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and set yourself a timer for another hour, right? So when that's done, then you can look at it, make sure it's still simmering, give it a stir, and then repeat that action. Now between then and the finish time, that's when you want to go ahead and cut up your basils and get it ready. Now we're getting ready to take a look at it. This is what it looks like after 3.5 hours. Now I've checked on it. This will be the 3rd time that I looked at it. So a total of 3.5 hours. What I'm gonna do is, let me turn this off. Really, I just put it like on a pause, right? I'm just stirring it, making sure I cover the bottom, making sure nothing has like stuck. Don't forget, this is an induction top, so that heating element is right on the bottom. You know what I mean? But as you can see, listen, it is cooked down. These tomatoes, oh man, they nice and soft. Really don't need no effort. You know what I mean? You're talking about a stewed tomato. Hey, this is it right here. And listen, the aroma. But we finna kick it up a notch now. So what I'm getting ready to do now, okay, after 3.5 hours, right? Now, I told you guys earlier it was 2 tablespoons, but look, I like to fill this up like this. This is probably more closer to about 3 tablespoons, but I know what I like. I've been making this for a while. Can't really pronounce the name, but this is it right here. So we got that fresh basil. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, it's gonna be very flavorful. I'm just moving this around, and I gave it like a rough chop. We're gonna cook this for about another 20 minutes maybe. You know what I mean? Just to soften this up and let this release its aroma, and its flavors into the sauce. Now, let me go here. Now, this is the basil that I had, right? The dried. I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a couple of pinches. Listen, I know I'm a little heavy on it, but listen, I love the taste of this. You guys can do it like you want, how you like it. It's up to you. but we're gonna cook this in and we're gonna get a great, good flavor with it. And listen, this is the time that we start tasting it. We wanna taste it and see whether it needs a little salt in it. Now remember, I added a little bit more pepper to it, but I think now I'm gonna taste it. Let me get a spoon. I'm gonna go ahead, after tasting it, I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a couple of pinches. I'm gonna give it 3. So I guess that instead of a couple, we'll say just a few pinches. We'll give it a stir. And I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna taste it no more. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna turn it back on and we're gonna cook it down. We're gonna cook it for another 20 minutes. Now I'm getting ready to add the oregano. Now you guys can just see how that flavors is coming together. This is creating a beautiful profile, you know, flavor profile. So let me just get it all mixed up. And then we're gonna go back in here for another 20 minutes. We're gonna cook it, and then we're gonna taste it again along with that salt, and we'll see if it needs any more. Okay, our 20-minute timer is up. Now let's go ahead and take a look. Let's give it a stir. Oh yeah. Man, you can smell it. I'm sure that if you guys had this, if you guys got this cooking, man, the aroma in your house is just incredible. Hey, if this doesn't say Italian, I don't know what does. Now, what I'm gonna do is, I'm getting ready to, we finna start putting this in these mason jars. So you just wanna go ahead and get yourself, you know, get yourself some type of ladle. You know what I mean? Then, at least with a pour spout. And then you just wanna go ahead and just pour it in here like this. It's still kind of warm, you know what I mean? But the beauty of it is, when you make this much, you have it for future, for your future dishes that require pasta sauce. Now, okay, now you can see these. Look, you can actually see the herbs. You know what I mean? Hey, this came out, you know, real good. It's a nice blend, nice mixture, everything blended together. Now look, as it cooled, you can push the tops. You guys already know about how, you know, canning goes. So listen, you push these down, you can see the heat that sucked it all the way down. After these get all the way down to room temperature, I'm gonna go ahead and put these in my cabinet. And then this right here, I save this because this is what I'm gonna be using, you know, for my next video. So, super easy. I say it's a must do. Listen, if you guys are, some of you guys are like getting back into the kitchen, and even my new people, hey, when you tell somebody you made your own Italian pasta sauce, hey, listen, hands down, they're gonna want to taste it, and when they do, they probably gonna tell you, you ain't made that. Hey, so tell me what you think about this one. I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section below, you know, what would you use this pasta sauce for? You know, hey, I want to tell you, don't put spaghetti, because look, that's going to be probably the most obvious. But I'm interested in finding out what type of pastas and what kind of dishes you would make, you know, with it. Here it is again. Look at it. Let it inspire you. Let's have fun back in